Hello, AP Physics 1 students. We're going to be going through the solution to the exam practice FRQ number 7. This is the swing stopper, and I think you'll see a lot of the same things that you had written. I don't think very few students actually got the problem wrong or didn't have enough information, enough substantiating evidence. The real issue becomes how you're explaining it, and are you explaining it well enough or explaining too much? Alright, so let's take a look here. First of all, I gave a diagram. There's nothing wrong with giving a diagram. There's nothing wrong with writing equations. In fact, I strongly advise you to use equations, but here, a diagram I think suffices. So I've got my mass going around a horizontal circle. I've drawn a free body diagram with weight pointing straight down, tension up on the angle. I gave an angle theta there. I gave r as the radius of the circle. Maybe that's superfluous, but the whole point is that it shows the situation. So the rubber stopper tracing on a circle, obviously there has to be a centripetally pointing force to cause it to accelerate to the center of the circle, all usual stuff. But then I explicitly refer to the two forces, right? Just a diagram enough is not enough. You really have to explicitly say that we have the weight and the tension, and then say the weight points straight down. Now here's the important part, right? Nothing opposed to the weight, the stopper will accelerate downwards. We don't want it to accelerate downward. The whole point is going in a horizontal circle. So with the tension as the only the force, here's the important part. Part of it must be responsible for opposing gravity. You have to say it, right? You actually have to explicitly say those things. And so the tension force must have a component pointing vertically and a component pointing horizontally to cause the centripetal acceleration. Since part of the tension points vertically, the string cannot be perfectly horizontal. So in other words, you want to have a very well thought out logical argument. You want to lay it out step by step, and you want to explicitly say the things that you need to say. You should not have any inferences. You shouldn't make the grader work for it. You should explicitly tell them exactly what you know and why that pertains to the answer. Okay, so here I'd say if you're going to score it, here's the important, oh sorry, and then I just broke this into components. We can clearly see the component pointing horizontally, that's the causing centripetal acceleration, the component pointing vertically, that's the one opposing the weight. That's why it's necessary to have the vertical component here, and that's why obviously this has to be on an angle, because it has two components there. So if you're going to score it, I'd say here are the important parts. At some point, you'd say something about a centripetally pointing force or centripetal acceleration. You had to explicitly talk about that. You had to definitely spell out exactly what forces there are, that there's weight and there's tension, which is strange that some of you actually didn't do that. Some of you missed an important part of that in your solution. And then this part here, saying that part of the tension force must have the component pointing vertically to oppose the weight. Okay? Now, the other problem is that some students are just writing way too much. You don't need flowery language. You don't need transitions. In fact, I absolutely suggest you do not put transitions. You just write. Just write your answers. Sentence, 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 fact, fact, fact. Point, point, point. Just be done with it. Don't put transitions there. Obviously, yes, you have to have good sentence structure. You have to have complete sentences. You have to have good spelling and grammar and those things. Okay? So write what you need to write and nothing else. And then we were talking a lot about time management. You want to go back and read it. Go back and read your work as if, and try to pretend you're the grader and say, did this person put all their points in there? Did they explicitly say what they wanted to say? Is it presented in a logical fashion? And edit. Take the time to edit your work and make sure it's the best it can be.